Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and the start of a new week here on the Citadel server. We are of course in Minecraft and we're hanging out in Westhill, 2.5-year-old medieval town build here on a nearly 6-year-old server. Next month I think marks 6 years for the Citadel. We should maybe include some more information about that in our commands and stuff here on the channel. I'm sure a lot of people have had questions over the last little while about the Citadel and how long it's been around and all that kind of stuff. And I need to talk to Alistair because I think Alistair is the one that has the date because he remembers when he started, and it was that week, if not just a few days before that, that we actually started the server together. Lots of stuff coming up this week. We've got a special stream on Thursday where Cosmic and I are going to be taking a break from Westhill and mining some netherite in the nether before we update to 1.20. Speaking of 1.20, 1.20 launches on Wednesday. We won't be updating the Citadel right away. We're going to be waiting a little bit until the quality of life mods, the map mods, like stuff like that are all updated to 1.20, and we'll go from there. So it'll be at least a week. I also have to find the time to update everything. So that's a thing as well. But the rest of the week is going to be satisfactory on Wednesday, and we've also got a new Lego set starting this Friday, Ecto 1, the vehicle from Ghostbusters, specifically Ghostbusters Afterlife, the most recent of the films, which I really quite enjoyed, and I might rewatch it before I build the model. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, and of course we're back to Minecraft on the weekends. First, it looks like I need to sleep. Calm meditation. Boy, are you in the right stream? I get comments all the time about how chill this stream is, so hopefully it's up to your standards. Welcome in, Cosmic, Dan, good to see you. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon so far. So we've been working on this keep for like the last, I don't know, 3 weeks probably. Oh, I misread it. It's not calm, it's clam. Clam meditation. Can you be a calm clam? Clams don't strike me as excitable anyway. Unless there's a walrus around. Or maybe those were oysters. Mixing up my fairy tales. So the last thing we were working on was that tower. And I'm still on the fence about whether I like it with the corners removed or whether it looks better as a big square tower. It does kind of add to its uniqueness with the corners moved or corners chiseled away. The big issue I think we're going to run into is where it is in space in terms of the north, south, east, and west location, because I don't know if you can see it on the map. There it is right there. That's it there. So currently it's out over the edge, and I could move it in any direction, either north or west, and by doing that I change the profile of the side of the keep, and ultimately I lose an alley at the docks, and I'm not quite sure if I want to do that. And yes, Legos Clam, we do Lego Let's Chats every Friday for 2 to 3 hours where we build Lego sets. We've been doing that for a little over a year, actually. So that's where it is right now, and it runs, it looks like it runs flush, but it actually sticks out by a block. I'm debating actually pushing it out even farther. I don't have any rockets, and I don't have an ender chest. Okay, looks like it's a long walk back. Maybe I can glide over here. Any particular Lego theme you prefer? I don't know about prefer. For the longest time, I restricted myself to Star Wars Lego because it meant I wasn't allowed to then purchase all of the Lego. I just would only let myself buy the Star Wars Lego. But I like the Lego Icons series, and I like the Lego Star Wars. The icons are like Optimus Prime, Shuttle Discovery, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. We've got the Lego Motorized Lighthouse, Ecto 1, and the USC X-Wing coming up. So that's really probably the rest of the summer into the fall already spoken for. So here's the idea. This could go out just 3 blocks here, but it takes this previously too wide alley and closes it off to just a 1 wide little sliver. And I think it's either all or nothing. I would prefer this to be either completely open. Ignore that door, that's just temporary. So I'd either want this to be completely open, 2 blocks wide, or I'll just shut it off completely and we'll just straight up have nothing here. So it would be probably out to here. I'm not really fond of this sticking out here. So if we did that, we'd have to nudge it, I think, back to that position. But then this just becomes a very boring straight edge, which we could have, you know, put stuff in front of it to make it feel nicer. I don't know if I could nudge that 2 blocks to the north, though. It is a tiny gap. Yeah, it feels really claustrophobic. It's one of those things where, like, you either close it entirely and cut that off so that when you come around this way, there is no stairs. We would just change this. We might even expand the top part of this house to be a little bit bigger. You know, if we turn this house, the Dockmaster's house, into like an L shape, you know, bring it across here, then that could also help with it not feeling so claustrophobic. But I don't want to lose another window. So this is the maximum distance I can bring it north, I think, is that column of stone there. Pretty interested in the new Lego Dreams theme. It looks super fun and creative. I'm not familiar with that, Clam. Cosmic, is there a link we can throw in the chat to the Lego Dreams theme? I'm new to that. I never even heard it. Do you have an existing Lego theme that you like, Clam? Is there something that you've been building a while? So we could move this 2 blocks forward. That's possible. But only 1 block forward if we want to keep the 5 by 5. Yeah, I would probably just change that house. So if this is at the maximum 5 by 5, where does that put us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it does come to there if we did the whole 5. And I guess we could also like add a little bit of shape to the bottom of it so it actually makes sense. That wouldn't be too bad. That's more interesting than what I had before. Because what I could do is I could leave that where it is, but I could make it fatter as it comes down here. Increase the support of it, I guess. The main thing I want to do is move it so that this is free and clear. So really it boils down to me deciding if I want to keep this alley or not. And how this whole thing looks. If it looks supported, if it looks better moved east or west. Cal Birdie, hello, hello. Welcome in. You were absolutely not late. I don't know what you're talking about. I actually quite like the fact that my streams are pretty accessible for people that want to come and go depending on their schedules, and I'm glad that people don't feel like they miss anything if they're not here right at the beginning. So it does seem to me like it would benefit from being bumped out a little bit. The door would be in a better position as well. So we bump it out, we have to move it north by a block. How's that for a landing? Yeah, this just feels very odd. I think an overlap there would be preferable. So if we do that, that would bring it out to here. Which is over the roof. But then I'd also want it to be up here. Then this would stay, but that part would go. And then this part would actually be here. Which would make sense. We would just have to maybe adjust how that works. And I can't bring in another block forward because then we'd lose the detail there. As it stands, it's pretty tight now. That will probably go because we've got a single strip there. I guess there's only really one way to do this, which is just put it in and see what it looks like. Oops. This is the one drawback about doing everything in survival, is how long it takes to make these adjustments. I have to take this down anyway. So I don't think I necessarily have to build up the back. I can just maybe build up the sides. 10 out of 10 would watch you land on a small object again. Nice. I love watching streams, but then the fear of missing out can really get stressful. Oh, you mean like if you're missing a stream or something like that? I try to start my stream with a quick, minute or two of like what we did last time. I find that helps. Let's just do the edges. Cosmic Dancer has set up their monthly tip of $10. Thank you so much, Cosmic. How long has that been going on? That's going to be at least a year now. So much appreciated. Oh, that's not the top at all. I thought I was at the top. Whoops. This thing is massive. All right, so that would come out to there. This would come out, that's right. So then this would come down through here. And then we could create some extra support there somehow. I really should put the final touches on the backside of this window. I don't know about looking away. I work pretty slow, Clam. I don't think you're going to miss anything just by having like a second monitor stream or something casual going. So this window is going to go. And that feels a little bit strange. I feel like I could probably get rid of this too. Yeah, for this we might actually bring the wall in a little bit. Not sure what we could put there, but it feels like a better finite end to that corner and keeps the display sort of over the windows. Not the display, but the flow of everything. Although looks like this is off somehow. Why is that in a weird spot? I guess that's in the wrong location. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird optical illusion. It looks like they were the right space, but now that's correct. And we'll fill this all in later. Twinkle Tuesday. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Oh, thanks, Clam. It's all good. All good. Okay, so I guess we need to go upstairs. I missed the open stairs here. I don't think I want to put them back, but the convenience of them was great as a builder. Right, so if it's going to go out there, then that's going to change this part to be a door here. So that's if we want to keep this as a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a chiseled corner? We'll call it a chiseled corner. So this would not come out nearly as far. It would actually start here. Like that. It's a little bit easier to do this, just this upper part. The upper part is not nearly as tall. Did I mess up there somehow? No. So that's the new position that I think I want to move it to. So you can see it feels like it's a little bit more part of the structure. The load-bearing wall there. Goes back to what I think we were talking about on the spawn chunks this week, which was, not this week, but like recently. It was about like killing your darlings. So even though I'm very happy with the way that that dock looks and the old alleyway, there's no real reason to have the alley. And by keeping this the way that it is, I feel like the keep looks better and the alley is a small sacrifice. So how do we feel, chat, about this being farther out to the side? It reminds me of a church in my area, which is one thing I don't like about it. I would prefer it to not look very church-like. And that could be if I removed the slot, like if I filled it in. Like all that empty spots there. Oh, thanks for the sleep, Cosmic. Appreciate it. Mr. Miley, hello, hello. Yanni, welcome back. You like the sunken spots in the middle? Yeah, it does add some character to it. I agree. I kind of want to make it a little bit taller because of this view from the south. It either has to get shorter or taller. Like I kind of want either the top of it to be here or up here. What are we sitting at as a Y value? It's almost the same height as that. So we are at 99. That's 100.5. And this would be the same. 100. That's 101. So this is taller by a half block. Yeah, I think that either has to drop down or go higher. The other option would make it a big square place like that, which we can try now. We can give that a go. Just from the front to see if we like it better. And that doesn't affect anything down there. The other thing we could do would be to change this so that it doesn't. It's not the same width the whole way up. We could make it thinner at the top and fatter at the bottom. But this is the constant back and forth I go through. When I'm designing something, there's always options to run through. See which you like better. And we can keep some of the sunken kind of like peaks and valleys here and there if we want to. It may be worth it to create a square top. But maybe create a little bit of a divot on the way down. What do we think? A couple blocks taller or a couple blocks lower? If we brought it in lower, it would be around here. So it'd be like 1, 2. I would take 3 blocks off the top of it probably. Or the reverse, I would go up by that many. So that's a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. It's a bit more equal to the other towers. Yeah, like I think that's it, Yanni, is that the square, at least the square top, if not all the way down, the square top feels like it's more a recognizable part of the keep, if that makes sense. Has the same design language as the other towers. Taller to give some variation. Yeah, that could be a good way to go. Taller is also just going to be a better view too. Oops, that didn't work at all. So it reads as taller than this no matter where you are, but it looks shorter there because it is farther away. So we'd have to go up at least 3. This is where I find scaffolding very handy. We can come up here and like just kind of quickly add a top to this without doing all the stonework. That's 2, 3, 4. So ignore that little bit is down here. It makes it look like a big box, but that would be the new height. So even though it looks equal at this distance, as you get closer, it will look better. But you can see how that benefits a clear silhouette over the top of the main tower. The middle tower would lose importance if the tower gets taller. I don't know. I think it's big enough that it still reads as the main part of the keep. That middle part is essentially the main staircase. The big one. I like that you can see it better through here too. Definitely more of a dynamic Feels very triangular rather than square. And at a taller spot, you can see it from more places, which is good. Can you see it from in here? Probably not. Oh, you can. Okay, so if it gets taller, you can see it from here, which is good. I like that. That layering, I think, is cool. Especially if we had anything with, like, if I managed to figure out how to do flags or any kind of lantern or something up there could also help. Which tower is most important for you? I think it's the big one, but that's why it's the biggest, right? The fat, like this, the fat one, the one in the middle. The way that I've been describing these has been the west tower, the one we're working on, the east tower, and the main tower, which is that. But that's, I still feel like that is main because it looks like it's the sturdiest. It's got the most layers and detail in it right now. Definitely looks better from the west. I agree, Mr. Biley. Yep, I agree. With these streams lately, there's just an awful lot of flying and looking around and trying to figure out what we like. I could even go a little taller. Can't really see much from over here. You usually have to cross the bridge to see what's up. It looks better from the front as well, yeah, from the north. And that's a cool effect. I could even go taller. Same, says Cosmic. Yeah. When you start off that low to the ground, there's nowhere else to go but up, right, Cosmic? For anybody new in the chat, Cosmic is not a tall individual. Just so you know. Better from every angle than taller? Yeah. I'm actually going to see what it looks like with another 2 blocks on top of it. Can I get here with 1 rocket? I can. Nice. Whoops. We're definitely taller than that other one now. So I did another 2 blocks on it. So that reads as taller even from out here. I don't know if that's good. That might be a little bit too much. The only way to really tell is going to be to put stone to it. But we're also very much taller than this. I like being taller than this mansion tower as well, because it pulls a little bit more importance in the town towards the keep from the mansion. Oh, face full of pine needles. I mean, you really see it from out here. So I think we're going with at least 4 blocks taller than its current state. And it reads as taller there too. All right, well, we'll go up by at least 4 blocks. I think I might leave the corners empty for now and just have like the top part be solid. Let's do, I guess, front half and back half, maybe? The test. This is where this all gets a little tricky. Nope, that's a hole. That's a large hole. Whoops. Shaders from the road once it's built to the height. Yeah, we'll check it with some shaders just for fun. So here is where I think I would change the way that the corners work, where we'd have, cover that up before I die. That's the top, then that's a stair. So then this would be the bottom part. So within 2 of those, maybe 3. And after that, we would remove that part. I think. I know I'm losing blocks, but like I can't be bothered to go all the way down to get them. That's that. Let's get this chipped away. But then back here, let's just take a look and see what this would look like if it was taller. A little challenging to do and get a good read on it. We might have to do one or the other. I'm really glad you don't have to press shift in order to place something up against scaffolding. That is one good thing that they thought of. And how far did I go down? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then nothing there. I'm really out of stone. It must be all just strewn over the landscape down here. I thought I was picking up most of it. Maybe not. Ruined my fun by covering up that hole. Wow. Is there, how long is the stream lag today? Holy smoke. No, I'm not hurting for blocks at this point. It's just inconvenient when you run out of, like, you know, something that you have to craft, like slabs or stairs or whatever. So at this point here, we would stop. That's got a corner I have to take off, and this has got a corner I have to take off. So we could either have it start here or continue it down and then start it in a different position. So here I think I'm going to try and get up and fill this in. So that's one height, and then the other height would be in here. That doesn't have the corner, so that's good. Does this have the corner? No. So that's one potential height here, and then the other potential height there. And I think you'll see when I back up, the idea is that the corner bit, the chiseled corner, will only go down like a couple of blocks. Yeah, that even might be too much. To kind of give that idea of a crown on it without having to add blocks to it, we can kind of just angle the corners. It is hard to do both at the same time. It might be easier to just do one and then do the other. It's only a couple blocks difference. I'm leaning on the taller of the two. So we'll start with that. Six to 7 seconds, Cosmic? Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I can't separate the heights in my mind either, Yanni. I can't do it either. I think we've gone over this. Am I pronouncing your name right? I hope I am. If not, please feel free to throw a phonetic pronunciation in chat. Like I said, it's only 2 blocks. If it's not good, we can always change it. So the cool thing is this would be the view. not bad. If anything, I kind of wish these were not here. Be nicer to have pressure plates. Which I could do as well. But that is the full height. Now I just want to double check. The idea I think was to not have it be too thick. So this is, that's just 2 blocks. So maybe we just take out the corners once we're 2 blocks down. So that's 1, that's 2. And the corners would be removed from there down. I think that's all the corners. No, one more. It's Annie, but the pronunciation differs from English pronunciation with we sound the sorry. You like Iani as well. Okay. I wasn't sure whether the eyes were meant to be part of it or whether it was just Annie. That might need one more block. Right in there, maybe? Or perhaps a slab. I think I'm happy with that height. I think I like that height. I don't know if I like that little channel though. I think I might want to just make it square. I guess we could always add a wall in there to try and help it be less of a change. We don't have a stone wall, but we could try an andesite wall. I guess before I fill this in, I should check to see how I feel about the placement of it down here. I mean, that all checks out. I lose this. I'm realizing that one thing we might be able to do inside, you know, where we've lost that that window, I might be able to create a door. If I can get the staircase to move in the right kind of spiral, I could potentially have a door here. That goes into the tower. Or maybe we put it here. I guess that doesn't really work. No. Yeah, that's really the only spot I can put it. So it would be 3 blocks here. So there's our little 3x3. So that could be a way in. As well as on this next level. It doesn't have to be there. I want this to be the main entrance. Or one of the main entrances. And that might actually not work out very well. I might have to move that over here. Which feels weird, but if I change this to be maybe a 2 wide door, then that's going to feel less off center. The tricky part would be lining up a place where the stairs could come up. I'd have to see. Because what I would like to have is the staircase probably start like right here. You'd likely want to have it start there. And start to go up. To get around the door. So it would have to, the other staircase would have to come up like very specifically in order for that to work. Big Headface, good to see you. Welcome back, as always. All right, let's just see what I can do with the top of this. Still wasn't tall enough. So we can drop it by a slab. Or we can try walls. Could try walls going down the whole thing. Time to take a break, says Cosmic. Thanks very much. That's 3 blocks, and then I guess what I'll do over here, I'll put a whole stream of walls in there. Should be enough for me to tell. I'll be very happy when I'm no longer doing these crazy high construction projects where I can just work without having to do the scaffolding thing and dropping blocks and all the constant up and down. Hunt555, good to see you. Thanks for the lurk. Somebody made a comment on one of the VODs over at Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube, suggesting that if you can get enough mangrove roots, they're superior to scaffolding because you can remove them very quickly. If you can get a lot of them, then it rivals scaffolding. You can't craft them, but you can harvest them in great quantities. And you can land on them, you can sneak on them, you can squat on them, like you can press shift on roots, and they don't do all the things that scaffolding does. What sounds like a you problem? Why Jan 22? Day's been pretty good so far. It's a busy morning. Had a meeting this morning. Right, so I don't like that, unfortunately. I was hoping that was going to add to it. We may end up just making this a square tower. Was watching some of the modded playthrough, New Life with Scar and Gemini Tay and Pixel Rips. And I'm a little jealous. I know that the Citadel is great, and I've got this long-term project, but modded Minecraft and that start of modded Minecraft where you've got all the new blocks, like it's very, very tempting. No, I mean, I'm not part of the server, but like, you know, to do that on my own, or to organize a short event, you know, something that's limited. So I think I like the full 3 blocks better. We'll take a look and see what the slab looks like from the front. Oh, I see, Hunter. No worries. Yeah, I think I like the full 3rd block better. I don't know about the little wall, though. The single wall might be okay. That might be doable. Maybe having a 3rd block and then a little wall. That might be the best way to do it. That is, of course, if we don't do a full square tower, which will be the next test. Got a lot of hollowing out to do too, seeing as I move this without really tearing it down. All right, time for that break. Let me scoot around here. If you're new to the channel, as I think some of you may be, I take a break once an hour. Gives me a chance to reheat my coffee, grab a snack. You should too. Make sure you get a good stretch in. And hey, why not tell a friend that we're live? I'm trying to grow the channel this year and kind of continue my adventure to do this as a full-time job. So if you wouldn't mind sharing the stream, I would very much appreciate it. I'll be right back. All right, back again. Feeling raspy today. I had an issue yesterday during the Spun Chunks recording as well. It's we had a lot of rain this weekend, which is great because of the wildfires burning in Nova Scotia. But as a result, all the trees are very excited, and so my hay fever has been really giving me a lot of trouble. So I think andesite wall is really the only solution here. That was a slab. So that I think was the best option for the front. Now on the back, we're not keeping these. But I do want to explore what this might look like if we added the full corner on the back here all the way down. Or I guess all the way up would be the easier way to do it. So if we did that, it would affect this in that it would add a block here. And we can potentially add like a gradient or something to this tower so that it looks nicer rather than just completely stone. I mean, obviously there's going to be some textures and some other stuff that has to happen. One of the reasons why I didn't do this tower or the keep earlier on is because I knew with the addition of deep slate and some other blocks that came with like mud and things that we were going to need or have access to more blocks with more of a gradient. So I waited on purpose. It's funny, you know, when you spend so much time, 2.5 years in one area, you know, like just this area right here working, and then you travel less than half a rocket away and it just goes to nothing. Like there's just Minecraft generated landscape for miles. Like it's just, you get rural wilderness so fast. It's very similar to Nova Scotia, actually. You drive 40 minutes from my house on your way out of the city in any one direction, and you get into the nothingness quite quickly. I don't think I like the pressure plates there, so if we do the pressure plate thing, I might change the height of the stairs or do something else there if I can. Go for slabs or something. I'm not sure I like the forked look where the edges are taller than the middle. I missed a spot there. One nice thing about adding the corner is that it would overlap here better. It does look very plain though. Come and build a pink cottage in the woods so it doesn't feel so much like wilderness. Nice. What do we think? Do we like the chiseled corners or do you like the square? I feel like the chiseled corners might be the better way to go. There's a good look at it there. I don't know, maybe we have to go all the way back to having the corners be chiseled all the way up to the top. I like the way that it looks at the bottom if we chisel the corners. Yeah, I think we'll go with the chiseled corners for now. I mean, it's easy enough to put them back. Zoom in again. Well, here, let me fill this in. It's going to be filled in anyway. Just this part here. The chiseled corners. Yeah, so there's that. It draws more attention to it, I think, because of the shadows. Oh, speaking of, we can just put some shaders on. Does look kind of boring, doesn't it? My frame rate's going to be gross when I'm flying around with shaders, but yeah. I mean, the sun at this point is behind the whole thing. For anybody that's going to build a town like this, I would double, triple check your plans for where your big builds are going to be and have them face either east or west. Don't have them face north. That was a mistake that I definitely regret. All right. I would say we do chisel corners for now. That's going to be an easy fix. So we do that. And it was 3, I think. 1, 2, 3, and then a wall. 1, 2. One, 2, 3, and then a wall. This could also be a stair or something else. That probably has to go like that. More than likely has to have a slightly more robust connection there. We could also do a stair here maybe. If you have any shaders that you recommend, I want to look using them in 1.20 and I get lost in the amount of them in the settings too. Yes, these are BSL. And the cool thing about the BSL website is that they have various different versions that you can download at various different like intensities, like whether you want something that's very light. I really quite like enhanced default as well. There's very little change. It really is mostly vanilla Minecraft with shadows, right? Like you can see the shadow there, but that's it. Like there's really not much more happening. Unfortunately, they're not the best quality and they probably have some settings to be tweaked because it's an old shader pack. But any kind of like enhanced default is a great place to start because there's less settings to mess with. But then BSL is really good. I just had these for a while, but I've just not gotten rid of them. They were good for like very, very specific situations. I feel like Silders and some of the other Silder stuff was better for the Nether and the end, whereas the BSL shaders that I have are much better for the overworld, but then okay in the end and the Nether. There was a set of shaders that we talked about on the spawn chunks this week that's linked on the spawn chunks episode. Yeah, there's the difference. That's the BSL. And they were called complementary something. And they were recommended as, they were part of the conversation where we had talking about Bare Bones doing their playthrough of the whatchamacallit, the set of shaders that looked like the trailer for Minecraft. That was what the individual was doing. And so Johnny said one of the things that he has seen was this set of complementary shaders. So there's two sets of shaders recommended in this week's spawn chunks. There was the shaders that were being used by Lazy Bones, and then there was the shaders that Johnny brought up. And I don't remember exactly what they were called. Complementary Reimagined. Those are linked in the show notes. The shaders that Lazy Bones uses, you'll have to go to one of their YouTube videos and see if they list them. So I think I like, if I'm going to sacrifice this alleyway, I think I like having this bit here removed all the way down. So that our wall here is at this 45. Because I think what I can do here is probably just add like a stair or something. Right? I feel like that feels pretty good. I don't want to come out and start doing stuff like this. I don't think. I think that gets a little bit too heavy. And then if you think about it, I could take this pattern and wrap it all around and then stop when it hits the house. So then the house, there'll be a nice texture border here. I don't have any deep slate on me, but I would continue that deep slate and tough probably right through. And the cobble. So that is, I think, the tower decision. That only took the first hour and a half. Jeez. This is why this takes such a long time, this project. So on this side, we have that to fill in, and this to fill in. I don't think this needs to have any kind of access at this level. If I do, I can just hollow it out maybe. It could be a stairwell down to the basement. I guess maybe I should leave it hollow for now. What we will do, let's say that's, so 3 this way. Did I get that right? Oh no, it starts here. Whoops. And then 3 starting here. So there's the door. Right, so we're very close to having a door back here, which could be very cool. I wouldn't want to have a door here, but having doors inside the keep would make a lot of sense. So that would be where that would go. So what would more than likely happen here is I would probably either extend this house to the left here, or we could just fill this alleyway with stuff. Is that the wrong block? No, that's right. So this kind of feels strange. So I would more than likely fill this in. Don't think I have any cracked on me, but you get the idea. So that closes that off. So we've lost the alley, but I think we've gained a better tower because of it. So the only shaders that LazyBones has listed is BSL. I don't know whether they've shared their settings for the BSL shaders or not. That's the other thing. They've got specific settings for them. I think that looks okay. Like this, we could even push out a little bit if we wanted to. I think I can get up this way. Oh yeah, totally can. Nice. I've thought of everything. I'd be very curious to see a recording of a bunch of people walking around Westhill without me, like just going about the business of exploring without like a guide, just to kind of see whether they get lost, whether they think it was cool. That'd be a really interesting experiment. I know I've got a couple of people that are interested in coming in and having a walkthrough when I'm done, like other content creators and stuff. So on the other side here, we have a square wall. And I don't have the space to do that here. So I guess we'll just kind of go with the way that it's set up. So one of the other things I was thinking about adding along here would be things that would help support the wall a bit. And it would more likely be andesite. And so what I was thinking was at least have something like this. And this could work really well if we also had the tuff and the deep slate in here too. I'm not sure about this straight brick section, although I guess we could add bricks in here too. I guess I should do both. What do we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and then that completely cuts off that space. And that's why I think it might be best to like either completely hide that or make something more interesting out of this space if we decide to use it. I don't really have any other blocks to test this out with. Yeah, that doesn't really feel robust enough. They probably have to be more like 2 or 3 wide for this to really work. Which is fine, because then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And if they're more than just 1 block wide, then obviously we can get a little bit more fancy with them. Oh, that doesn't look good. Why does that look so weird? I guess it has to go up maybe in the middle of each one. Oh, that just looks funny, doesn't it? That's really weird. I thought that was going to look like a support, but it just really doesn't. Maybe there just needs to be more of them. That feels a little bit better. That feels a little bit better. Maybe they're a little on the tall side. Do I get lost around here? Not really. I mean, in addition to just playing here for like the last few years, I've also I built everything, so kind of remember where most things are. I'm usually very good at spatial analysis and spatial awareness. So like, I'm not someone that gets lost on road trips. I kind of always know what direction we're facing. I mean, I can get turned around a little bit, but like most of the time, given an opportunity to write myself, I can usually sort things out pretty quickly. This might even benefit from being more than just 1 deep, right? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. And that might actually close off that section down there. So put these in here like this for now. I'll worry about the final block selection some other time. Oh, that then becomes an issue. So here's another good reason to maybe expand this house, is that we might have to move the door to be here, right? Like we might have to put the door in that space. Yeah. Because this might, the way that this is going, this is probably just going to completely seal this up. I think I prefer the brick. I like the wall detail as well. It doesn't necessarily make sense. We could always try it out here. That actually makes more sense. Especially if we start getting into like carved stuff. Yeah, that looks cool. It doesn't feel the most structurally sound, but it looks cool. You find it difficult when you're renovating something like this to work around the small gaps you may create when expanding a building near existing buildings. That kind of stuff I think you can get away with either just filling it in or recreating and repurposing the space. So for example, here, like I think what I'd end up doing here is, instead of this being such a small spot, we'll expand it, and I'll just move this. Like this, all this stuff will just kind of get moved out by a block. And then we'll have the bone block could go right to there. And then we could have a nice little framed entrance right here, right? And that actually might look better up against this tower to have this framed better. So rather than this weird alley that you can't do anything with. And as far as these spaces go, like this is the kind of thing where like we just push the bone block out to here and there, and then you can kind of fake it. You know, you can kind of maybe that becomes like, maybe we turn the bed sideways, you know, and it just becomes like a little sleeping nook, you know, just little things like that. And in Minecraft, when you've got a tight space like this, adding a single block, like 1 meter difference to create like an L shape here, makes this feel much different. It's not bad, like it's not cramped by any means, but like it could be a little bit more spacious. So yeah, I think I like those. I mean, the idea of them I like. I don't know the design. Well, whatever. We'll figure that out later. But then if you can imagine, you know, dark blocks back here. So like if I continued that deep slate that we have, that pattern, this is just a rough idea of what I want to do. But having this gradient that happens, have that go all the way up to that line so that everything under essentially this windowsill is going to be a much darker block all the way around. And I think that's going to help differentiate the build. Now here it might become a problem because we've got a deep slate roof. But at that point, we're probably going to be doing mostly cobble. So we should be okay. But it'll really help these tall parts of the wall. Anyone ever tell you that you're a very patient person? Yes. Probably to a fault, I would say. Probably to a fault. I know it's a strength, but I can sometimes, it sometimes gets me in trouble. So I think I might get rid of these little walls in the corners and just keep the ones there. Don't know how tall this needs to be. Probably a lot taller. Oh no, we're good. So I think we're going to get rid of this. I'm wondering if a slab will look good in its place. That could be okay. It might not work. Same thing over here. We'll see how that looks. Kind of looks cool to have this roof up against the keep. So there are some things that I think help with having things layered and like up against each other and right on top of each other. There's a house on the other side of the town that was like that. I built it after I built the bridge. So the bridge was built first and I needed to kind of utilize this space. And so I ended up building this house, but the house basically uses the bridge as one of its walls. And it really made for an interesting use of space. So there's no reason why this couldn't be the same thing, you know, over on this side. Can't even really see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, again, the design of them isn't final, but I think that makes sense. It might make more sense if we brought that andesite all the way through. Again, emphasizing the height, removing some of the horizontal bands and creating more vertical lines. But you can see here where like this would benefit from having like this kind of a structure, because then you've got some nice contrast that'll happen between all of this and then like the tidy straight edges of the keep towers. There's also, we could have more vines coming in here too. Yeah, I quite like that. I feel like, did I put one in the corner? I did not, but I could. I don't know whether that looks good or not. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Again, having that material be a very specific material would probably help that in a great, in a good way. Weird texture thing happening in the clouds. And welcome back. Hmm. I need to go get more rockets before I do anything else. And I guess I need to get my door back, which is behind this one. Yep. And while we're in here, let's just quickly grab some deep slate and some tuff. So where are we here? We're at 67 down to 64. 5, 6, 7. So there would be a little bit of deep slate and maybe some tuff. I mean, that's if it is a straight line, which it doesn't have to be. Whoops. I guess I should have brought some cobble too. Whoops. Whoops. Yeah, that makes a big difference. You know, when you think about the fact that this might be a much darker section, right? And then a lot of this could end up being, you know, grass or dirt. This could make a little bit more sense. Certain patches. That could give a little bit of greenery or something in here too. Stuff like this, like just like little mossy bricks in a bush, you know, just like little things like that could be interesting. So this really doesn't have much of a use other than a back alley behind this place. It just ends up being an odd space that didn't get used. So what would end up happening here is probably a few things piled up against here, similar to like, you know, that. I'd end up with something like, you know, a thing there, something to kind of push you to the right so that you see more of what's happening here, rather than walking down here, being able to see the water because you're walking around something, I think helps that idea. Pandal, welcome back. Thanks very much. Appreciate the kind words there. All right, let's get in here. Of Of course, that'll change the dynamic in here, but this will be a whole other can of worms. I think how close I'm getting to finishing this, and then I realize that I have to do the inside of it too. I'm just like, oh gosh. Such a pain. I mean, in a good way, just I'm so far. It's such a big building that I'm so far from finishing it. All right, so one last thing I want to check is I want to get the inside hollowed out, and I want to get down some basic stairs. It looks like we have enough to do. Probably going to be easiest just to go all the way up this thing and then mine our way down. So there's our 3x3. I always find this tricky. Let's just replace this for now. Sure, I've gone well beyond where I need to be, but that's fine. So the reason why I started it here is because I think from a flow point of view, it really makes sense to come in here and be able to go immediately up the stairs. From over here, it's not a big deal to go around this way, so that's why I chose that direction to start with. Hopefully, we don't end up coming out in a weird position. The other thing that I might want to do is try to stagger this in a way that allows me to create some rooms on the way up this. I think the last part I may end up with a room at the top with a ladder to get to the top, rather than having the spiral staircase go all the way to the top. Because I think that'll control my views a little bit better. BWO Chicken. Interesting username. Welcome in. I think BWO and I think like something world order. But what's a good B word that's a chicken pun? I don't know enough about chicken breeds to know what might be the way to go. Right, so this would be potentially, yeah, see if we keep going. We do end up facing the back. So we arrive at the, oh no. We arrive up here. It's not the end of the world. But I would prefer to have a view out there at the top. I really went past this. Here's a view you don't get very often when you don't have to fly around. It's a lot of gray. Need to do more texturing on the roads, I think. That kind of stuff helps, so I might need to do something like that. These need more. That helps too, having like lanterns and barrels and things. Wrong time to stop by the stream if you're scared of heights. I'll leave the scaffolding there for now. So yeah, it's not much of a view. That's not bad. I really wish that there was a way, like, as if sometimes I wish the Minecraft player point of view was just a little bit taller. That gets us down to there. So if we were to continue going down, there's our 3x3. We do have the advantage of being a little inside here. So we have a little bit of extra room, which could help us. That's obviously outside. So that doesn't have to be roof. That could end up being supportive structure. So we have a little bit of room here if we want to do a slightly different staircase. But what I'd like to try and do is get ourselves to the point where this could be a staircase arriving. I don't know how that works for here, though. This would have to be probably a wood platform, not a stone platform, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'll just get rid of the dirt, I guess. Oh, found the bottom. Right, so if we started here and the staircase was immediately in front of us. Going the other way, maybe? This may be a mistake. It gets us up over the door pretty quick. Good news is we don't have to worry about the door to the south. This may be okay. Right. Okay, so here is where we could take this to our advantage and try to come up with something a little bit extra here where we can go up here but then change directions. That doesn't work there though. That cuts us off here. But I'd like to maintain access here, right? I'd like this to be a thing we can still do. Even if it's on wood, I'd like to still be able to come in here. So what we might have to do is cut this out and create an extra stair bit here. So if I take this away, get rid of that. And instead of coming up here, we actually continued. Oh, that's outside. This would have to be smaller. Thanks, Cosmic. Appreciate it. Rival Prospector Drone, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Oh, that's a window. Can't do that either. Man, you get stuck real quick. So what I was hoping to do was have a staircase that comes up and connects. We might not be able to do that. And that's fine. This staircase doesn't necessarily have to go up. This staircase could maybe only go down, right? It might be better to go down here and try to arrive in the basement and have this be that kind of a thing. So let's go, we'll cut this out too. I thought I marked this. Looks like I did. Very dark. So that's actually part of the 3x3 there. So this all used to be a hill, and that's why there's so much dirt here. So we built a keep on top of a hill, and there's some parts of it that I ended up just covering up with stone. I didn't actually completely flatten the whole area. It's actually kind of cool when you think about how you start to run into different parts of the wall. Prospector, nice to meet you as well. Thanks very much for coming by. Appreciate you saying hi. Always good to see new people coming into the chat, seeing what's up. I have a sorting system for people wondering what I'm doing. Chucking things into a waterway. There's a bulk sorter there. So yeah, this could be a stairwell coming down into this space. And that might be easier than trying to work out how to do it on the way up. No worries, Prospector. I'm sure we'll see you again. I stream every day at 1 o'clock Atlantic. It's UTC minus 3 hours. So here what we would do is cut this away as a potential. And I'm going to go down this way. And this could be stone stairs. Could be a lot of different things. Right. It's always easier to face going up with these. You end up putting a lot of temporary blocks in when you go down. Once you can reach, it's okay. Considering you place the block correctly. And this might work out so well for coming down that it might be just worth it just to keep it as a down stair. A downward stairwell. right? Because it's going to pop us out facing the right direction. Right? So that could be dungeon. I don't know what's going to be down here. A distillery. That's what these are supposed to be kind of represent as an idea. Yeah, there's lots of different options. But now that we have a couple different ways to get up and down, this works out so well as a downstair. I think I might not have it go up unless we can have it go up like heading the other direction and have it work out. Then we'll give that a go. Like if it continues this way and works out, then we'll do it. Question from Yanni further up in the chat. Wanted to wasn't sure how you'd answer. Why do spiral staircase in different directions and not one? Because this was a mistake trying to line up with the top as a guess. This was because coming in here, if this was meant to be down only, it makes more sense to kind of walk in and go straight down, in my mind. So the spiral staircase, it's trial and error. I'm just going to go with whatever works best. That's all. The key things that I wanted were for when I come into this space up here, I wanted to be able to essentially walk straight across, right, and go right up the stairs. So this works out pretty well. The only thing that I would consider doing is, once you know kind of how it lines up, if you wanted to pop out the top facing a specific direction, right? Like if I wanted to come out here, then I know that I'd have to rotate it around clockwise, and that would be doable. If I wanted to have this initial view be this view, then I just have to rotate it around. And the only tricky part there is that that would then get in the way of the door, right? So if I moved the entrance to this stair, if you think about this from a macro view, if I rotate this, that this starts in that block space there, then we don't get high enough to get over this door, right? And if I really want to keep this door, which I think I do, then I think that we have to use this as the starting spot. Which means that if I can get up here with a set of stairs from below, they essentially have to arrive here. And if they don't, then I won't do it. I'll just leave it. And we'll use the main stairwell over here as the way to get up. No worries, Pando. Take it easy. We'll see you again soon, I'm sure. So yeah, and then this becomes an issue where can you get low enough here as you go around? So then this gets cut away. This ends up being that kind of a space. But then, see, then I've got too much, you know, like I've got extra room here. Like this basically comes down here. One more. But we're still not low enough. Right? That's where this becomes tricky, in that this kind of has to be like that. So I don't think I can get up here. I don't think it's possible. This isn't high enough. Like we have to squat. I mean, this could be trapdoor. And we could start to go down this way. But that's a tricky run, right? You start to get into like half stairs where this is your platform, but I don't feel like that feels very good. So I'm pretty sure we can't do the downward stair. What's more important for me is I think this access here and this direction here. And it's more of an interesting way to go up to come across to this main stairwell rather than just having all of your options through here. Having this go down, I think, is more interesting and then changing it so that it does both. That makes sense? Yeah, I'm not so worried about realistic stuff. Wellvink, I get it. Like I understand that that's a cool thing that stairwells were mostly clockwise for defenders, but you know, why would it be clockwise for defenders? Because wouldn't most people be right-handed? Like this is clockwise. That puts my right hand up against the wall. Wouldn't it be counterclockwise? Unless everybody was left-handed? I would imagine most people were right-handed. There's a wall on the left side. You mean if you're going up? Yeah. Well, there's a wall on the right side and a pillar in the middle, so then there's a wall on either side of you. It doesn't really matter. If you're defending, I would imagine you'd be coming down. You'd be defending people attacking coming up. I mean, either way, it's a small space. But like I said, I'm not really concerned about that with this build. I just want it to look good in Minecraft. It doesn't have to be accurate to specific. I talk about it quickly online as a medieval build, but it's a medieval fantasy build, so I take liberties wherever I want. Anyway, I think that's a decent spot to wrap it up. We did a good job on that tower adjustment, I think. I now have a plan. I can just move forward with this. It will, of course, look a lot better once it's got some texture and some ideas, and maybe we decide if there's going to be a room at the top and all that kind of stuff. And one way we can get around this direction arrival at the top here would be to remove this as the top platform, have maybe this as the top platform, and then just have a ladder. And that way, when you arrive at the top of the ladder, you'll be specifically, you know, facing a direction that I want you to face. And it'll allow us to put in some windows and things like that. Yeah, so far, so good. As per usual, it's slow going, but I'm at least happy with it. I felt very stuck with this last time, so I'm feeling much better about it now. I'm actually really happy with these, the idea of these buttress supports as well. Obviously, we'll decide on a final design later. Same with integrating that building there, but I think those are going to stay in one form or another. Probably something like this, or maybe something more simplistic like that. But we'll figure that out as we go forward. I am going to pass you along to somebody else playing Minecraft. It looks like I've got False Symmetry is live. Let's send y'all over to False Symmetry. That sounds like a good plan. I'm sure you're probably aware of their content as a hermit on Hermitcraft. And what are they playing, actually? Should check. They might be on New Life if they're part of that. I don't know. Survey says Vault Hunters, it looks like. Cool. Either way, we will send you along. I will be back live again tomorrow. That is Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Oh, is Tadpole live? I didn't see Tadpole live. Tadpole is live. Let's go to Tadpole. First day of Halcyon Heights. Yeah. First day of Halcyon Heights. I thought they were waiting for 1.20. Yeah, if Tadpole is playing vanilla Minecraft, then that's probably a better place to send everybody. Sorry to kind of backtrack on that, folks, but yeah, that's probably a better location. You can listen to the Spawn Chunks. Brand new episode out yesterday. Brand new episode of the Citadel Cafe out on Sunday. So those are both new this week. Another episode of the Citadel Cafe coming out tomorrow. As I mentioned, we'll be back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic playing some Satisfactory, and then back in Minecraft again on Thursday with Cosmic at a special time, 3 o'clock Atlantic. That's UTC minus 3 hours. And everything is linked at joelduggan.com. I'm Joel Duggan on social media, very easy to find. If you've enjoyed your time today, make sure you leave a follow. And hey, tell a friend. We're trying to grow the channel, and I would very much like to meet your friends. Bring them in. We'll see how that goes. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.